Hello there survivors and welcome back to another video in ARK Survival Ascended. Today we're continuing my adventure on the Jurassic Park inspired event that I'm hosting for me and my community. And today we're starting off right at the start of the Gallimimus race that I organized, where we had to try and get around on the galleys. Of course, they're perfect for this. They're very fast. They're quite nimble, unless you get them stuck somewhere, of course. But it does mean that we stand a high chance of being able to outrun all the danger, as long as you don't get stuck in the wrong spot. Yeah, you're kind of good to go. Although, you know, that is easier said than done. But I do love these races. I'm not really participating here to win because I set up the course. I know exactly where to go and what to do. But I do like to run around with the community to enjoy and see all the chaos unfold. And chaos has arrived here. As you can see, there's a giga right along the tracks. I tried to clear this area out just before the race, but I guess ARK had different plans, and that's not all. Right around this corner, there's a Rex as well, trying to really shorten the race for some people, but galleys should be fast enough to outrun everything. That's why we did this race, because I'm trying to avoid using flies for as long as possible, and galleys has really been a useful way to get around for me, because they do kind of outrun anything. You're kind of safe on them, or at least I feel quite safe on them. Of course, you know, does depend in not getting stuck, etc., not taking too much fall damage. But yeah, it's been a really fun experience. I don't think I ever really tamed or used a galley before this, and they're actually quite good. They're quite fun, and once done some breeding, they're not terrible. Like, the weight's better than I expected. So it's been really fun to run around, and in my experience, you really get to know a map a lot better if you try to run around on foot with your creatures for longer instead of just flying around it all the time, because you just explore it so much better. You learn the different ways of the map so much better whilst being on the ground. And as you can see, there's quite some chaos spawning around here. You definitely don't want to hit a dimorph here by accident, because that could be the last thing you do. But this race is built up in a few different things. Obviously, it's trying to get to the end the fastest, like with most races. But there's 4 checkpoints in between where they have to find an artifact hidden in a vault. And yeah, well, when they do that, they can continue to the next point. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I know exactly where the artifacts are, and I would spoil how to get there. But we are making our way to the first checkpoint, which is the Jurassic Park Visitor Center ruins that I built to be found and explored here on this event. And we're almost getting there if we cross these dangerous rocky sides on the side of this mountain. And you can see the group is kind of dispersed a little bit, which always kind of happens with these races. You all start at the same time, but you know, for various reasons, people kind of get split up, and that's why I like to do these checkpoints, because it gives people the opportunity to catch back up. If you find the fault faster, you can continue faster. And of course, you could come here first and leave first if you're quick. But more than often enough, people actually do not find it first, and the order gets changed around a little bit, which makes it way more fun than just a ordinary race. After the first few people found the artifact, I decided to continue on my way to see how they were doing with the rest of the challenges. So this was the first checkpoint of 4 in total. So we're now on our way to meet the second one, but not with some obstacles along the way, jumping these rivers, making sure not to fall in, although you can swim out as well, but it does of course cost some extra time. And the biggest challenge in a lot of this parkour is actually going downhill and trying not to hurt your galley too much, because if you just run and don't get off on time, they will take quite a decent amount of damage over the whole layers of mountains that we need to go down. But if you take it slow, or you jump down on time, you can actually, you know, save your galley some life, and that might give you that one extra bite from a Rex or a Giga that you can't quite dodge out of the way of, and might save your life in the end. But yeah, you can see going downhill is actually not as easy or not as fast as you might expect. You kind of have to be quite careful with your movements when going downhill. But eventually we're making our way down the coast and towards the swamp. Now this is possibly the most dangerous area, and not because of the terrible things that spawn here, because once again most things you'll be able to quite easily outrun, but of course there are cat pros here and they could really edge your race quite easily, of course. So you want to make sure that whatever you do, you try to avoid and dodge them, or hope to be lucky and not run into them at all, because with all the other crocodiles you'll be able to dodge all of these big guys quite easily. Nothing really is here that would be able to outrun you, so as long as you don't get jumped, you're quite safe to get around here. But of course it is always a scary part of the map, especially because there's definitely some dangers that could spawn here. An unlucky survivor could be met with the new big L Spinosaur, which is very reminiscent of the Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaur and is actually quite fast as well. So that actually would probably be the scariest thing to meet. Maybe in combination with a Capro, that could really be the worst day in your life. But it seems that we're quite lucky with the things that spawn here. To be fair, I did add some protection. I did add some turrets along this section of the race, just to make sure that people would get to the second checkpoint. And the second checkpoint is a maze. Now, I'm not sure if the races that I was following were just very lucky, or, well, it's not a very complicated maze, but I mean, there is still some choices to make and some wrong choices and turns to make. So it was quite surprising that at least the ones that I was following, they took the right turns right away. Yeah, hopefully at least someone got slowed down because of this maze. I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot of variations in the route you could take. There's only a few wrong turns, but I mean, it seems that most of them took the right ones, although I did catch up to someone else, so maybe they did take one of the wrong turns here at the end. But through the maze, it means that we're now coming to a very exciting part of the race, because I had the choice of just keeping this going for a long time, and I was kind of forced to loop back on myself to get off this island that we're now on. And I didn't really want to loop back on myself because it could get confusing with going back over the same part of the track and then having to go a different way. And I tried to keep it very idiot-proof in this race, so I didn't want to have any confusion whatsoever. So instead, you'll see in a little bit what I came up with. But I think it's quite a clever and exciting way to really change the landscape of the race. So yeah, we're chasing our way down to the back of this new island next to the swamp. There's quite some dangers here, definitely a lot of danger all around us, but luckily if we make it far enough, we are out of here and we won't have to worry about anything that spawns on this island. We have managed to catch up actually to a few places. You can see there's actually a teleporter here that will bring us all the way into the desert, and this is the third checkpoint where they had to find something in these desert ruins. Took them a long time. Apparently this one I hit a little bit too well, or they just did not look very well, because it wasn't very well hidden at all. It was just in one of the side buildings. But as you can see, we spent quite a lot of time here because I'm already halfway in a heat stroke, you know, starting to see a bit blurry. So I decided to continue, not really following anyone. I just I need to get out of this desert. It's getting hot in here. So let's try to continue my way. Yeah, this really rearranged the order of the race quite a bit, because at some point people did start finding the right place, but other people still had some trouble with finding it, and eventually more and more started to make their way around. They had to go quite far out in the desert, but I did not expect them to be already stuck at the desert temples for this long. So yeah, I expect a lot of people would have had this blurry vision in the desert because of the heat strokes, and I don't know if anyone perished because of the heat stroke, but yeah, you can see quite dangerous, of course. Karchas and Gigas can still spawn here. So we decided to give a little boop to this Karcha, but that's the good thing about a galley. You know, as long as you didn't take too much fall damage, you can take a hit and you can keep running, and there's nothing really that's going to catch up with you. And then the end of the race is right over here at one of the castles, the Redwood Castle. I thought this was a very fitting location to have the finish line. So crossing the bridge, we go into the castle, but there's one more checkpoint. They need to find one more artifact before they're allowed to finish. Because you need to hand in 4 of them to be able to be on the podium. So yeah, you can see them trying to find them. Also, again, I don't think I hit it that well. I think it was one of the obvious spots. Like, of course, there's all these little buildings, but I personally thought they would all check the towers first. So that's where I hit it. Just because I didn't want to be too cruel, but apparently it did take a little bit to find it. But eventually they did. And that was the end of this race. But that was not the only race we had. Well, this wasn't really a race. So we have the Plateosaur on the server here. It's a mod. It's Phase Menagerie. It's a lovely little herbivore that actually boosts other herbivores, and one of the things that it makes is a brew that increases your speed for a small amount of time. And as you can see, when using that on a Diplo, you actually get a party bus that can move you and your friends around quite rapidly. So of course we had to take it out, explore the world a little bit. I'm still not sure what that is, the blue flashes, but that happened a few times. I think it's one of them doing something. I don't know why it's so bright and blue, but yeah, you can see it's quite a fast way to travel. It's pretty much as fast as a galley normally is, I think, which makes it a really fun mount because, of course, you can take your friends. I think there's like 5 passengers plus me, so 6 people traveling around on the Diplo, and of course we would have had room for more if more people wanted to join. But yeah, this was really fun. So this is definitely a good way to travel between the 2 park sections, because we of course have the land park section that we have all the land enclosures on, and we have the water park section for all of the water related enclosures, etc. So yeah, it's a good way to travel between them. Again, fall damage is your biggest threat, but I guess if we do breed a few of these with some decent stats, you'll be able to take a few hits without any problems. And yeah, it's quite a fast way to travel around from one side of the world to the other, and it's definitely a very fun way. So yeah, of course, that's the little brew in there. This is how we took a little tour of the world, check out what the other group had been up to, and yeah, we got a lovely little sightseeing tour in with our Diplo party bus, which definitely a recommended way to travel, especially with the boost. But even without the boost, if you have a big tribe, and we have a very big tribe on the event, it's actually probably one of the funnest ways to travel around instead of all using your own tames. So yeah, definitely would recommend. But of course, in the end, we had to make our way back to base, and just wanted to show you that we did in fact make it safely back to base. So with the speed boost, Diplo definitely a good way to travel around. Without the speed boost, maybe less so, but I think it's still going to be a pretty fun way to travel, and they're not too slow in general. You just might have to be a little bit more careful of where to go. I kept getting stuck on tames here, but eventually we made it through to the end of the cave, and I could park the party bus and get ready for the next adventure, because of course that's not all the adventures that we had. In fact, I went on an adventure with 2 other people to go and do an artifact cave, the one underneath the castle with the swamp entrance. I'd never done that cave, so I thought it would be fun to get along and join this journey. You can see us traveling on Spinos, because Spinos are actually quite fast, and of course they pack a little bit of a punch, so they're good mounts if you have to travel by land. And we're still in the pre-flyer era here, which I'm loving. which means that we can't tame flyers yet, which forces you to use some different tames, and Spino is currently one of the best options that we have available, and definitely surprisingly fun and quick way to get around with. So yeah, definitely quite useful, maybe more useful than expected. But we made it to the castle. We were surrounded by dangers, of course. Giga on one side and there's Mora Rectors on the other side. So yeah, danger everywhere, but we were going into the cave anyway, so we just decided let's get in there quickly before any of those things see us, and yeah, we get into a fight that we probably can't win. And once we're in the cave, you know, it's not really our problem anymore. But I was really expected here that Giga to just jump down on top of us and end our adventure right before we got into the cave. Okay, this was me trying to get back on the Spino. That was a little bit more chaotic than it needed to be, but we made it in the end. Now we're trying to find the way in. 3 Spinos getting in here at the same time, not the best thing, but we made it in eventually. And of course we had to use different tames for the inside of the cave. So yeah, cryoing up the Spino. Time to get into the cave, and you know a good cave can't be done without some shark raves, so expect some shark raving to go on in this cave. But yeah, I've never been here. I know this is quite a beautiful one. I'm just quite excited to do it, but of course, as I said, we have to do some cave raving, especially waiting for people to log back in, because loading in the cave can sometimes cause some issues. But that's fine, you know, some shark raving, and then we go. I'm using the Theory and the new tribal saddles, which are really cool, and as so is this cave. This cave is absolutely lovely, like the different glowing mushrooms. It feels very aberrant down here for sure. Very cool place, very cool different variety of cave systems here, which I quite enjoyed exploring. Like, this would be a great place to build. I'm not sure if you're allowed to build here, maybe not on PvE, probably on PvP, but it's beautiful down here. I'd build here, I'd live here. It's quite light. I'd expected it to maybe be darker, but yeah, it wasn't that bad. And of course, some artifacts do be found here. I'm saying, of course, I didn't know how many or where any of the artifacts were, but we did find one before too long, and then it meant we had to find both the second artifact as well as a different way out of here, because we didn't want to risk getting out the same way, getting jumped by the Giga, but we did risk another little shark rave. Of course, have to do a few of those whilst you're in a cave. Then I was told to grapple up here, so that's what I did. I got my grapples out. Well, no, they gave me a grapple actually, and then I did the coolest movie scene you've ever seen. A shark flying all the way up, no fear, superhero landing here, very important. Kind of forgot to eject the cable, but that's fine. I had no clue where I had to go, because I was just taught to go up here. But you know, I'm a shark, spider shark, I can figure it out, and we got an artifact. Look at me, such a survivor, such a hero, all that without any sweat, you know, easy work for the shark. And then of course we had to make an epic way back down into the cave once we got this artifact. So we go, we have a shoot, of course, safety is very important. Got my flaming arrow as well, because I thought that would look cool, you know, the little fire coming down, and then I could do some special effects whilst landing, because they make quite a cool noise, which is quite loud and scary to have around you. But yeah, there we go, we got the 2 artifacts, and now it's time to find a way out of here and get back to base. But yeah, this cave, very beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know any way we went. I have no clue. I probably never found my way back to the places we visited, but I did have fun in here, you know. Some cave raving is always fun, and I actually really enjoyed using the Theory. I also have never really used Theories. I've used them for boss fights, of course, but that's about it. We had some unloading the cave issues here again, unloading the normal world, but you know, that's all good. That's all part of the cave experience at ARK, isn't it? And yeah, I'm really enjoying this theory, especially with the cool tribals saddles, of course. They're really cool. I wish we had more saddles like this in the game. Skins for saddles, I feel like, is something we desperately need. Oh, and then I gave one of those speed potions to my Theory, and that is absolutely crazy. It's so fast. I wish you could travel around like this all the time. So yeah, this is the herbivore enclosure, which has a nice fence. It doesn't actually have herbivores in it yet. Hopefully soon. What the heck? This grass is randomly disappearing nowadays. But yeah, we kind of need to still fill it, but it should be relatively safe. We've been trying to get it safe normally, but I think we're going to have to end up, for big enclosures, we're going to have to end up using some admin bubbles to keep tames out, because whatever we tried wasn't working. So I'm going to have to set up a system for that. But yeah, and then this is a breeding facility under construction, which, you know, hopefully will be really cool as well. Still being worked on. Then we're going to cross the field. And I'm going to show you what I've been working on recently. Kind of redid an old build I did. And then also, added some of the fence designs that I've recently done. So this is the fence design that I recently did, of course. But now it's like a complete fence. So, you know, with all the layers in there. I still need to add the details of like the signs and things like that. I added this segment in it with the barn doors to make a little gate as well. And it seems to be pretty effective. And this pen seems to be quite safe because I've had some raptors and stuff running around. And none have been killed. There's some compies running around in here too. And I think there's a Carno in here. They're all just kind of wandering around. Kind of testing the waters, see if it's safe. But it seems to be relatively safe. So yeah, we have a pretty decently sized perimeter. And then right over here, we have the raptor paddock that you might recognize from Jurassic World. Let me just go into photo mode. It's a build I did a while ago, but I added the bunker cosmetics and it looks so cool with those. Looks really cool. I changed up these parts a little bit using these bunker cosmetics because they have some really cool skins for it. Added some technical things here just for the looks, but yeah, quite happy with that turnout. We got the paddock itself, and then you can see the entire closure right next to it. Plenty of space for a bunch of creatures to wander around, and this is also currently where I'm doing a little bit of breeding sometimes. They're currently not breeding, but that's the Spinos I've been breeding. Particularly happy with this one. That one's quite cool, but to be fair, the purple one, not too bad either. So yeah, that's what we have going on here. Now, up here, we've got a pretty large build coming up, which is the Innovation Center from Jurassic World. I think the raptor might be following me. It's all in Ragnarok, right near Green Orb. Yeah, I don't have any speed potions at the moment. But yeah, we got this Innovation Center. I'm not going to show it off in like completely full details, but just a quick little peek because it's still under construction. Someone's working on this and it's looking absolutely epic. Look at that. Whole plaza around it as well. But yeah, that's going to be really cool once it's finished. So of course, there will be like proper tour videos and everything once it's completely finished. This is kind of just a quick little look whilst we're on our way to do some taming ourselves. But yeah, plenty of projects going on. There's one more build project currently for the land park at least. There's more at the ocean side. We might stop by there later again. There's a research lab being built here, which is going to be very cool because it's kind of on the edge of the waterfall. But yeah, should all be very cool once it's all done. Okay, so we have the turbo there. We just need to find something we can kill and drag in front of the turbo. Because that's how you tame them, I think. Remind me next time just to tame something to bring. Oh. No, that's definitely off to the galley, isn't it? Oh no, it's eating. Is it not my friend? It is my friend. And then I need this, I think. Or was it just not enough? And do I need another corpse? Maybe it wasn't enough. Let's hope the compies didn't eat this one. But that's still not going to be enough then. Oh god, we might have a problem here. It's time to pet? Yeah, that's what I thought, but it wouldn't let me. Okay, well, let's try, because that's going to be slow otherwise. Oh. Don't move. Well, that's not very friendly. Hello? I'm not moving. Still not moving. Well, it's a turbo variant, but they're tamed the same way. Do I still feed you like this, or do I just pet you? Well, I don't think that was working. It does have the bar fuller now. Oh, it's not friendly. There we go. There we go. Not sure how we did that, but we did something. I don't think we necessarily did it the right way, but I'll take it. Okay, so I guess we just now eat things and try to tame this within the time limit. Oh, it's a cool looking turbo though. There we go. My Spino is still at the water side. He's fine. Come on. This hopefully will give me a bunch of effectiveness. Oh, it's a 130. Oh, that's such a shame. I should have tamed the 130. Because I think this is a male, that's a female. Could have had a breeding pair right away. Come on. There we go. We've got our turbo. Look at that guy. That's pretty cool. Hello, hello. Still have a little snack? Okay, please stop walking away from me, please. Hello, you want this snack? Hello. Do I just stay near you now? Oh, there we go, there we go. We can now ride it. We've done it. We can go and kill things. There we go. Oh, please let me find some things to kill. Okay, let's get the stego. There we go. Oh god. I can't fit through all these rocks. Where did he go? Hello? Oh, there he is. Look how beautiful. All right, that's a decent bit for the first eat. I'm just gonna walk around it and hope for the best this time. I feel like that's all I've been doing. And this one is just some really cool patterns. Well, the same patterns, but nice colors, which makes the pattern more noticeable. So that would be quite nice to have. It's another female, which is also great because we have 2 females. We can do more breeding. Kind of just want to hang out and hope that it actually works the way I think it works now. I really don't know. I really thought you're supposed to be able to feed it something now. But, I mean, didn't want prime meat. Oh, there we go. We can just ride it now. Well, we did something right. Let's go. Let's kill some raptors. Come on. Kill one other turbo. Pretty sure it will tame. Oh, that's a pretty high level. But we'll try nonetheless. Because that's going to give me a bunch of taming if I do manage to kill that one. There we go. Oh yeah, Karcher Taming will be soon as well when they unlock. There we go. Come on. There we go. It does tame right away, which is quite nice. Okay, it's got to follow me because I have not any dino balls with me. I dropped it all off on my Spino. But this is a pretty one. Happy we did that. I feel like I'm not quite sure why it works this way, but we know it works this way now, so it's fine. There we go. We made it to Viking Bay. Oh yeah, so they've removed this building. I guess because they didn't need the 2 storage systems. They've got parking here. We've got the lovely huts here that we showed in the tour. The diner and the greenhouse and stuff. We have the main storage system. And then we have... Oof, we have a lot of teams out here. A bunch of the Diamantinas. And of course all the rafts. But there's also a bunch of new stuff out there. Because that building... We saw that yesterday. That's new. Hello, sir. Thank you very much. So yeah, they've got like a hatchery or breeding building here. Follow the trail. Okay. Well, they've got the hatchery here, which is pretty cool. I think this is where they do the land breeding. Because of course they are partially living on the water with all these rafts. And I think if we go to the other side here, they've also started building some pens and a new little village. So we'll just kind of cross the land bridge. There we go. Look at that. That looks very fun. I love the little huts. Like the very Jurassic Parky vibe, right? These huts instantly. And looks like they're working on a new resort out here. With some little pens for the creatures. Which is quite cool. Little bridges to all the different pens. Oh, don't fall into the water, please. Look at all that. Very nice. Very, very nice. And I'm not sure if there's more on this side. I think there might be. Let's check it out before we head anywhere else. Yeah, I think there's one build up there. Oh yeah, there is a build here. Look at that. Ooh, this looks cool. That looks pretty cool. Little dock out here. Oh jeez, it's really crazy in the water here. We've got the doorways and everything. Yes, definitely unofficial. Definitely unofficial, yeah. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty cool enclosure for the little cryptos. Very nice. Cryptoclidus. There we go. Look at that. Then there's something being built here as well. Oh, let's not fall into the water, please. Yeah, there's a little dock out here. Little bay out here. And I don't know if there's more. I don't think there is any more yet. I don't know. I guess if I follow the coast, I might find something. And otherwise, I think that's going to be it. But It might be one more project. I don't know if this started already. There we go. Oh, yes, something is being built here. Or at least being worked on. There we go. Something is under construction. I guess we'll see that another time. Which means that I'm going to make my way back to base. And then I'm going to wait for my turbos to wake up eventually and breed them. But I'm quite happy we managed to get some. 2 140s and a 130, but with really cool colors. So that's going to really cool. Nice. Well, that was not a sentence. That's really going to be really nice once we have those. Oh, there's a Karcher here. Oh, it's not chasing me. Okay, good. But I'll do that in between. For now, I want to say thank you so much for enjoying these adventures alongside me. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. Subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And hopefully I'll see you around in the next video or stream. Much more to come. And of course, also much more of this Jurassic Park event coming soon. But for now, thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.